Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I'm here to talk about some of my favorite cozy reads. So I've done a wide variety of videos like this before. A couple months ago I did a fall reads where a lot of these will be kind of repeated, and those are books that are set in the autumnal months that are just cozy and small town. I've done a small towns read video too. So these are somewhat kind of repetitive, but these I would classify as just books to read on a great rainy day. Have that cozy feel, that wrap you up in a warm hug, that just are just so cozy. First up is Legends and Lattes by Baldree. I don't think you'll ever find a cozy reads or autumnal video without finding this in it, because it is the definition of a cozy read. So in this book we follow a character named Viv, who was a mercenary. She's an orc, and she's kind of tired of that. She wants to hang up her hat and she wants to open up her own coffee shop. She lives in this magical world where coffee is really not that big, so you're kind of reading her open up like the first Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Just a small town kind of coffee shop, and things that you know are very relevant to coffee, like scones and cinnamon buns and cold coffee, hot coffee, live music. Viv is thinking about all this for the first time, and it's just so cozy and cute. It's got a coffee shop vibe to it. It's set in a coffee shop. She hires like a little rat that makes all of the baking things, and it's just so adorable. This also does have a prequel called Bookshops and Bone Dust, and that is cozy, but this one is truly the definition of cozy. Like, if you want a cozy book, look no further than this, my friends. Next up, of course, I have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Dream Harbor series. The sequel just came out, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I have read the first one. It's just a cute, adorable book about a character named Jeannie, whose aunt kind of gives her the Pumpkin Spice Cafe for her to run, and it's set in this small town. It's set in a coffee shop. She's learning how to run a coffee shop also on the small town, and it's set in fall, and it's just very cozy, very kind of Stars Hollow, Gilmore Girls vibes, which I love. The sequel just came out, like I said. This is about a character named Hazel who has a secret message, turns up hidden in a book at the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and she meets Noah, and it says the treasure hunt leads her and Noah around Dream Harbor, and their undeniable chemistry just might be as hot and fresh out of the oven. Cinnamon Bun, the bookstore sell. Like, coffee shop, bookstore, cinnamon bun, like cozy on cozy on cozy. Next up, a very kind of witchy read and very cozy one is A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney. I read this one last month, loved it. Nobody talks about it, but man, I loved it. So this book follows a character named Hecate, also known as Kate, and she is a hedge witch, and each witch kind of has a different responsibility. She's really familiar with nature, with healing, with providing people sanctuary when they need it, and she lives in this very small cottage, and she's very much a recluse. She loves being by herself. She loves doing her day-to-day things, cooking, because her mother was a kitchen witch where she put kind of magic in her recipes. And in fact, this book actually has recipes in the back, like so cozy salted caramel hot chocolate. This hot chocolate will keep you warm and dry on a cold rainy day. It will place a warmth in your home and heart that cannot be extinguished by any outside temperature. And then she has pass out pie and need to fall asleep quickly, make pass out pie. So she loves doing that, and her 31st birthday is coming up, and it's a big magical thing that her coven does, because she is part of a coven, which is really cool. And she kind of learns that maybe her coven is keeping secrets from her. Also, who shows up at her doorstep, but Matthew, who is a necromancer, and her and him used to be friends, but they had a big falling out, but he needs sanctuary. So this book is really cozy in the fact that it's really not very plot heavy, but character driven, and it's set very much day to day, with Kate waking up, making her really great breakfast, going to pick pumpkins, also trying to figure out this mystery, but it's still set in this very small town, and then also in her cottage, which is very small, and just the definition of cozy. Like, I would love to spend the night at her cottage. Like, it's just amazing. It's a great witchy one. It's a great cozy one. Highly recommend it. Speaking of witchy, the only other witchy book I'm going to talk about is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this one. This one has been getting a lot of hype. Not this one. I kind of wish this one was. I'm just saying. This one is about a character named Keela, who lives in kind of the Empire, and it's kind of crumbling. So she is one of the librarians there, and the whole kind of empire is crumbling. Like, people are rioting, people are setting fires, everything, and they're getting near the library. So Kira and this sentient plant named Kaz, he's like a spider plant that can move and talk and Rupa and everything. They decide to take a whole bunch of books because they're like, these books are going to be destroyed and everyone else is left but us. So they decide to take like 4 crates of books, get on a boat, and kind of just hightail it out of there because they don't want to pass away and they don't want the books to be passed away. So they go home to Keela's island where she grew up on, that she has not been to in a while, that nobody really talks about. And there she has to start her own life for herself. She finds her parents' cottage that she was born in and she grew up in, and it's kind of run down, and she's like, I need to make money. I need to like provide food for myself. What do you know? One of the books that they kind of took is a spell book. And so she decides to use that spell book to like really regrow like blueberry bushes, and she makes a jam shop to kind of do that. And then she also tries to bring life to the trees that have been like kind of dead on this island, and it's just so cozy and magical and cute. Like, if you want 2 cozy witchy books, these are the coziest of cozies. Next up, we have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This was my favorite book of last year. I loved it. It's so cozy, so heartwarming. Just, I loved it so much. So this is about a character named Lucy who is a kindergarten aide teacher, and she really wants to adopt a child at school because she got really close with him. Both his parents have passed away, and he is, you know, in foster homes, and she really wants to adopt him, and he really wants her to adopt him. And she really wants to adopt him, and he really wants her to adopt him. But she doesn't have the means. She still lives with a bunch of roommates, doesn't make a ton of money. So the state's like, why are we going to let you adopt him? And so then comes a wild thing where she gets a chance to be a part of this contest from her favorite author growing up. Think of kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's very much inspired by that. They have this wild contest that could help Lucy finally adopt this child. And so she goes to the island. I think it's called Clockwork Island. And there she meets a bunch of other fans of this book series that she loved. And basically whoever wins the contest gets book rights to his newest book. That means money. And Lucy really wants to win it. And it's just so cozy and heartwarming and whimsical. If you just love kind of Roald Dahl and the feeling of that, I would highly recommend this book. I loved it, and I will always talk about it. It's one of my favorites of all time. Favorites, we have Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I read this earlier this year, fell in love with it. It is very cozy, very heartwarming, again, kind of in the vein of The Wishing Game. This one is about a character named Tova. And Tova, how old is she? She is, I want to say she's 70 or something like that. Her husband has since passed away. Her husband has passed away recently somewhat, and her son passed away many, many years ago. And she's alone, and she works at an aquarium overnight. She's the custodian, so she mops the floors and makes sure everything's clean. It's like near Puget Sound, so it's a smaller aquarium. But there she kind of befriends a giant specific octopus named Marcellus. And you also get his point of view in this, because if you don't know, octopi are very, very intelligent. Like, they are so insanely smart. It is insane. So I love the fact that you get his point of view, and they just kind of form a friendship, and he maybe figures out some things about her past. And it is just so heartwarming, so cozy. You get to see a really big character development, all of these characters. Also, you know, who would have thought a person and an octopus would be friends? But it just works in this book, and it's just so cozy and heartwarming. If you want a book that will make you cry, but also like happy cry, this is a great one. And my last book I want to talk about is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've read 3 of her adult novels, really enjoyed them. This one is just cozy yet epic love story, and I enjoy it. So this is about a character named Clementine. She inherits her aunt's apartment, and her aunt has always told her her apartment's kind of wonky. You know, the doors might open and pigeons might fly in, the AC kind of goes in and out, it's on the fritz, all that kind of time. And also her apartment's stuck like in a time loop of 7 years. So sometimes you could enter the apartment and it could be 7 years in the future, it could be 7 years in the past. Either way is exactly 7 years. So Clementine's like, she never really thought much of it until one day she enters her apartment and it is 7 years in the past, and there's this guy, I forget his name, I think his name's Ewan, hopefully I said his name, is there, and he's like, oh hey, your aunt, because remember, Clementine's current time, her aunt has been passed away for quite a while. He's like, your aunt lent me this apartment while she was gone for the summer. I didn't know that her niece would be here too. And so Clementine's like, crap, this is 7 years in the past. And it's going to be hard to explain. Of course, her and Ewan fall in love, and it's kind of got that lake house feel like, you know, that movie with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, and it's still just so cozy and romantic as mess. Like, oh my gosh, you want some romance, man, pick up this book. It will not disappoint you. But it's very cozy because they fall in love with the small apartment, and it's kind of set in the small apartment because they really can't leave, because when she leaves, it could reset time and she can come in and it could be the current time, it could be in the future, you never know. So it's just a beautiful cozy love story that I adored. So there you have some of my favorite cozy reads of all time that I just love and adore, that just kind of feel like I'm like enveloped in a warm hug whenever I talk or think about them. So I'd love to know if you picked any of these up, what books you kind of consider cozy reads. Please let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.